If you landed on this video, it's probably for a good reason. It's probably not by accident. You're most likely going through maybe something challenging, something you can't overcome, something you really know that's holding you back, and you don't have the solution. I know how you feel. I've been there more than once in my life where I felt angry at myself, the universe, God for singling me out, for feeling victimized by life, feeling like I was trapped in my own body with, these thoughts that were destroying me with my mental health and anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts and the whole nine. For so long, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. Most people don't know what to do. So I did the traditional route and it didn't really work. And it was really just a band-aid for a bigger problem. So I had to seek deeper into myself. And maybe that's why you're here, to seek deeper into a part of you that knows there's a greater truth, that knows that your pain doesn't define you. Even if you feel victimized, I am going to speak to the part of you that knows it's unlimited, that knows that no problem is too big for the soul. See, the problems only exist in our mind. What do I mean by that? I mean, so much of going to the next level of your evolution, this could be in business, this could be in your relationship life, this could be in your health. It's simply a matter of new inputs. What do I mean by that? I mean that our brain is like the supercomputer, and what we feed it will form our perspective, and our perspective will dictate our actions. For example, I had this breakdown in my health a couple years ago, and in that, I got really frustrated because I thought I was doing all the right things. I was eating a very specific way that I thought was the most healthy you could possibly be. Then my health started to break down, and it got worse and worse and worse until I broke down all the way and could barely function. Then I said, okay, I must be doing something wrong. I need a new input. I need new information. I need new teachers or wisdom, or just I need something different, doctors, because this isn't working. So I started looking upon different research and different things that people dealing with my symptoms and what I was going through were able to heal. So what did I do? Well, the shorthand is I actually ended up eating and living a lifestyle completely opposite to the lifestyle I was living before. And before I was living that lifestyle, if you would have told me I was going to eat this way, I would have said there's no way in a million years, until my health broke down. But desperate times call for desperate measures. I had to make a radical change because what I was doing, although I thought it was the right thing, was not the right thing. So what happened? I made the changes, and in making those changes, I got a new input. I got a new potential of possibility through the lens in my brain. And this is real science. It's called the RAS. It's a filter that filters out only things that are relevant to you. And this filter can be directed moment by moment. It's mainly dominated by your core beliefs and the questions you're asking yourself. So for example, if you ask yourself the question, why am I not healthy? Your brain's going to tell you every single reason why you're not, because the input is, why am I not healthy? The filter is, why am I not healthy? And the output is, this is why you're not healthy. How can I become healthy? Totally different input, totally different filter, totally different result. So that's what started to happen to me, was that I started asking new questions because what I was doing wasn't working. It was a real breakdown, and it was very disappointing to me because I'm a bit of a peak performance type dude. I want to be in optimal shape. Well, what ended up happening was the exact opposite of what I thought was going to occur. In my head, I was like, this isn't going to work. This is not going to, I just, total didn't think it was going to do anything. Well, that wasn't the case. And I ended up actually going on this path of real health, real optimization. And it wasn't guessing. It wasn't with my mind. It was with my blood. And it was with data. And it was with measuring. And just by some simple tweaks, I was able to literally get on the path to thriving health. And now at this phase, still working through healing that residual, but the phase I'm at right now is in a whole different universe compared to where I was before. Why? It's because I finally was able to take new actions and change the story I was telling myself because the input changed. Because the old input was, well, you need to do more of this. You need to do more of this. You're not healthy because of this. You need to go more vegan or more plant-based or more down that route. And that was the wrong input. So it was creating a backward result. I was going backwards, and I needed something to change, and it all started by having a new input. So my goal today is to give you a new input on your life. because once you have a new input, it's creating new lenses, and that's going to create new outputs. So let me give you an example. Your pain, better yet said, your perception of your pain is the very thing that's keeping you stuck. What do I mean by that? I mean that we all have these things that we've been through that have victimized us by life, where we felt totally like life was singling us out, like there was no hope, maybe a dark night of the soul for some of you. And for the ones who evolve in this lifetime, what I have observed and experienced firsthand is that they don't look at their problems as problems. They actually look at it as challenges to step up. And this is my philosophy for you. And it's a philosophy for you now because it's not real until you apply it. But as soon as you apply it, and I have applied this, you will see a radical change to your entire universe. And the reason I say this is because I believe the bigger your pain, the bigger the purpose. There's something encoded in you that wants to wake up. But the only way you can wake that up is through challenge. If everything was so easy, why would you ever strive for more? Why would you ever go above and beyond? You wouldn't. It's content. You're happy. And most people, they land in that spot and they're really not ever experiencing life because they just take it for what it is. See, this is where I differentiate from a lot of people in religion or these other things. I don't think God is going to do it, or the universe, or your higher self, or whatever you believe in. I believe we got to do it. God is actually giving us the matrix, the framework to evolve to our greatest potential, but it's not coming in the form of a handout. It's not coming in the form of just pure grace all the time. It's coming in the form of serious pain. It's coming in the form of serious heartbreak, of loss, of betrayal, of failure. And in that, there is a code or a message for your life as really an opportunity to step up, to look at this as, where do I need to grow in order to overcome this? And that's when you start to rise to mastery. And that's when this philosophy becomes real wisdom. You realize this isn't philosophy. This is truth. And you can probably remember a time in your life where something seemed so hard or it wasn't going your way. And that was very much a setup from the universe, because it doesn't come in the way you think. It comes in the most unpredictable forms. But if you can look at life as that beautiful teacher of, what is this pain? What is this anxiety? What is this depression? What is this hardship? What is this heartbreak trying to teach me? Holy crap, you can step up. Because as soon as that happens, you go from life is singling me out to life is giving me a gift. I mean, the greatest gift you could ever give somebody, in my perspective, is the very blueprint for their own evolution. That's the greatest gift, the total bliss and fulfillment that lives inside of all of our souls that's just waiting to be uncovered. But you would never think it's gonna come in the form of something really hard or really challenging or something that brings you to your knees. But that's exactly how it comes in. So many people, they just simply have the wrong perspective because they're not realizing their life is fully in their control. And that's going to come from taking conscious control of your awareness to have new filters. So instead of life is singling me out, life is punishing me, what if you set it up to, why is this happening? I don't know why it's happening. What is this trying to teach me? That right there is going to give you an insight that will change your whole life. What did this teach me? What did I not learn that's allowing me to repeat this? But if you're in victim consciousness, you will not perceive this truth. You will be stuck in the story, because the strongest force in any human is their story, because their story is directly connected to their identity of who they think they are as a person. And most people, they have a disempowering story. They have told themselves something for so long that they believe it. And there might even be validity in it. But the truth is, if it's not serving your greatest evolution, if it's not serving like your soul, is it really the greatest truth? Probably not, because like I said, the soul knows no limits. It's for expansion. It wants to experience all of life, but you can't do that if you're not able to see through the proper lenses. So I encourage you to ask yourself the question, what is this trying to teach me? What do I need to learn from this? How can this help me go to the next level? How can this help somebody else? Now it's becoming about something bigger than yourself, and that's when it gets really easy to solve. Because the questions we ask, the information we give our brain, the outputs that we will see, because we're going to have new outlooks. It's changing the filter. New input, new outlook, new result. It's really simple. And that's all because of a mechanism in your brain called the RAS. And like I said, the bigger the pain, the bigger the purpose. Napoleon Hill has a great quote. And he said, every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries a seed of equivalent benefit. What does that mean? It means that no matter how bad it is or how bad it was, there is an equal and greater exchange of the opposite energy of that. So for most people, that's pain, that's hardship, that's challenge, that's defeat. And if they aren't a victim and they use it like an alchemist to transmute it into their own power and their own greatness and their own ability to give back and serve this planet, then what happens is the energy transmutes. So they get a different level of awareness. And in that, they succeed. And that could be in money, success, impact, relationships. I mean, relationships is a great one. We've all been heartbroken, myself included, more than once. And every heartbreak brought me to my knees to make me realize, man, something in me's gotta change. Something's gotta change in me, not that person. They were just a great gift to show me where I was lacking. My ego wants to believe my enemies are the problem. No. It's all a big reflection of me. It's a mirror. It's showing me, hey, Anton, you have a filter of highest evolution. Okay, great. We're going to put these people on your path in these situations who are going to really challenge you because you're limited here. Like, you're not whole yet. So God or the universe is going to set me up by giving me these challenging situations to overcome and grow from and learn from and experience beautiful stuff too that expands your soul, because there's both ends of this, not just bad stuff. Bad stuff is the good stuff. I mean, this is what sparks almost all the beauty we see, but the beauty was transmuted from what is perceived as bad. That's why people say anger is such a horrible emotion. Fear and doubt and pain is so bad. Like, you shouldn't even feel those. I used to be like this. Like, I don't even want to go there. Well, that's just total bypassing of the human experience, and that is not healthy. And I have seen the people that do that the most are usually the most toxic. So you got to be careful with that mindset. And it's not about letting those emotions dictate you. But here's the thing. Let's say you're boiling with what's called anger, and you're into this spiritual nonsense where it says, oh, you shouldn't be feeling these things. It means you're in a low vibration. Total bullshit, because this is what happens. Yeah, the frequency of anger may be lower than love, but if that anger is not transmuted and you just say, oh, I'm not angry, I'm fine, and you just suppress it, it's going down. And guess what? It's not going away. It is going to manifest in unconscious forms. That could be through abuse, mentally, physically, to the people you love. That could be in just a bitterness in your personality. That could be in self-harm. That could be in toxic behavior, like obsession towards things that don't serve you, because there's this anger that was unexpressed, and anything unexpressed, it's got to get suppressed. And if it's suppressed, it's going to put your body into a bad state of vibration long term. Instead of just not letting it suppress, letting it be at the surface. If you're angry, be angry, but don't be unconscious angry. Use it, because it's a source of power and fuel. It's a source of energy. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's just pure energy. So what I have done is I have used my anger. I have used my anger to build a successful business. I have used my anger to work longer hours, to be so driven to not have to do the thing that created the anger in the first place, which is usually something around finances or just my purpose or a relationship, where it's like, something's got to change. I got to use this energy to propel me to the next level. And all of a sudden, in that unfolding, you realize, oh, like, I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful. I have, like an alchemist, really evolved that energy, and look at what it's manifested outwardly. Something that was so bad, something so painful, created so much beauty, and hopefully it's helping others live a more beautiful experience. So was that anger really a bad thing, or was it truly a gift? Maybe those emotions are here to teach us more about our truest nature, that you can't have one without the other. Everything's equal and opposite. Everyone wants to experience bliss and happiness and all this stuff. Well, what's the opposite of that? Not very good stuff in perception. So if you're not using that bad stuff to transmute energy, upward. It's going to be hard to really see that your pain is here to teach you a great gift. And I know, I get it. Being victimized, being hurt, being lied to by people you love, money stolen from you, just abuse, anxiety, down on your knees. Like, I totally understand, and I'm sure your story's valid. But the truth is, you gotta divorce the story of limitation and marry the truth of your infinite potential, that there is something more inside of you, but you will not see it being a victim. You will not see it praying for God to fix this. God is not gonna fix it. There's an old story in the Bible, and it talks about how there's this man who's praying to God, and I don't know if it's in the Bible, but it's somewhere in the religious world. And in this story, there's a flood in this man's town, and everyone has to evacuate. And some people leave by plane, some people leave by car, and they got to go quick. And this man, goes to the top of his house, and he's a very religious man, and he's praying for help. God save me, please, please. There's flooding all around. And all of a sudden, the flood is rising higher. It's on top of his roof at this point. He's at the tippy top. And he's like, God, please save me. God, please save me. And this boat comes along. He says, hey, get in. Throw him a lifeboat. And the guy's like, well, God's going to save me. So he doesn't take the lifeboat. A few minutes later, he's praying. He's got so much faith. And then a helicopter comes with a ladder to save him. And he doesn't take it. And then he dies. And in heaven, he goes to the pearly gates, and he has a conversation with the angels. And they say he's angry. He's frustrated. He goes, what the heck? I was so faithful. I believed in God, and he didn't even save me. And the angel looks at him, and he goes, what do you mean? We sent you 2 lifeboats and a helicopter. You just decided not to take it. So maybe God works in different ways than we think. And I think grace absolutely occurs. But I think that story holds a lot of validity in people's experience today, especially in the world of, spirituality and these things. In my opinion, the greatest growth we can have is growth of self. In growth of self, we learn more about our deeper nature. We learn more about who we are as divine sovereign beings, here to remember our truth, to give back, to help others. But we can't do that if we're waiting for someone or something to save us. We can't do that if we're being victims to our past pain. We can't do that if we're telling the story of I can't because of this. And instead, you should say I can because that challenge didn't break me. That challenge, although painful, didn't complete me. You're still here. You're listening to this video. You're still alive. There's something more to you, but you have to be open to greater levels of understanding of yourself. Because when you do this, you will start to break karmatic cycles that I believe aid in the evolution of you as a person. Like, think about it. Who here has ever been through a pattern that has just seems to be repeating? I went through this for so long. It was like I experienced the same type of traumas with different people, but it was the same type of thing. And it was because I was never learning the lesson. So my soul at some level was here to learn that lesson. And once, after enough pain of it, being this thing of over and over again, I broke it. And I said, no, enough's enough. And I put my foot down. I learned how to gain boundaries, and I learned how to stop being a people pleaser. I learned how to stop saying yes so much when I need to say no. When I needed to say, hey, there's a boundary here and you're crossing it. That's not okay. And enforcing that boundary. But that took too many years. So if you do that, for me, it was like that was always something. So it's like I had to divorce that story. Okay, instead of I'm a victim, these people are teaching me how to own my power. Let me do that. Let me learn that so I can break this cycle and then help others do the same. So maybe that's why you have your pain. Maybe you have been gifted it because it is something that you can bear. And I don't believe God or the universe would give us something we can't really overcome. That doesn't really make sense. I don't think our creator is that big of an asshole. I think there's something more here, but we won't see this possibility if we're soaking in victimhood. And the interesting science about all of this is that the things we tell ourselves, the stories we tell ourselves, create the filter of reality. And whether something's true or not, we usually believe it based off what we say, because this outward conversation to ourselves and this internal belief system in our mind puts our energy into a certain vibration, and that vibration dictates all of our actions, and our actions are dictated by what we see. If we see an opportunity, we're not going to not act on it. Well, most people just can't perceive what's right in front of them, even though it's there all the time. Why? They don't have the filter to perceive it. This is called the RAS. I have a whole nother video on this that I highly recommend you check out on my channel. But anyways, I want to inform you that 50% of what you believe to be true about your trauma isn't even the truth. The latest neuroscience is showing this, that 50% of the stories we tell ourselves aren't even the truth. So you're essentially telling yourself a lie to pretty much victimize you into something that isn't even real, based off science. This isn't based off Anton theory. This is based off science. And why does that happen? It's because something happens to us and we tell it to one person, or we tell it to ourselves, and then we keep kind of fabricating the truth and expanding the drama of the story to make it so big to meet our own, need of significance and importance, that, oh my gosh, we have this huge problem, we matter, that it literally is hypnotizing us into a full-blown illusion of why we can't change. And it's not even the truth, and it's a self-imposed prison. This is why I am so big on the mind. You can't overlook the mind. And I have another video all about the subconscious mind, and I highly recommend you watch it, because that mixed with this is going to really start to give you a good understanding of how to really start to change this stuff. But if you think about how 50% of your reality isn't even real based off your past memories, that's a scary thought. And it makes you question, is the story you've been telling yourself really the full truth? Were you abused, or were you shown how to grab your power? Were you betrayed, or were you shown how to be strong? It's a simple flip of the same energy. All comes down to your choice, because like I said, our life is fully of our choosing. And what do I mean by that? I mean our destiny is shaped in the decisions we make, and our decisions are based off how we're thinking. Period. End of story. If you have good filters, it's going to force you to see good outcomes. It's going to force you to create better outcomes, because you can take an action that's serving you, because that filter is going to give you what's relevant. For example, I'll give you a quick little example of how it works. If you were in a crowd of noise, and let's say you're at a concert and you're walking through and there's all this noise and there's music and people are talking and blah, 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 and then someone says your name, all of a sudden you're going to turn and hear your name. Why? You're programmed to hear your name because it's relevant information to you. That is your RAS at work. Well, what if you were programmed to see the opportunity you want? What if you were programmed to see why you can instead of why you can't? If you were programmed like that, and it could simply come by asking new questions, you are going to start to perceive new possibilities in your environment. So you have to at first consciously choose, I am no longer going to be a victim to this. I am going to sit down with a pen and paper and write, what's the truth here? What did this teach me? What did I learn from this? What did this gift me? Yeah, it came with pain, not disregarding that. It's going to be painful. But what other flip end of that pain, that equal or greater benefit did that give you? And you may not even know it yet, but you get to decide what that means. Some people say, my wife, I was so good to her and she left me, and that's why I'm sad, and that's why I'll be single forever. And it's like, no, your wife left you, maybe for a multitude of reasons, but one of them I am sure of is that there was somewhere in you where you weren't embodying your full masculine energy, the light, the dark, the full embodiment of the divine masculine. And you weren't making her feel safe, and you weren't present with her. She wasn't out to harm you. That's not how humans really work, unless you're a psychopath, which that's another conversation. But even then, there's something more. And if we can take full responsibility, be like, you know what? Yeah, she broke my heart, tearing me to pieces. But oh man, she gave me the greatest gift no one could ever teach me. She gave me the gift of reclaiming my truest essence as a man or a woman, fill in the blank for you. She gave me a gift to push myself to become more strong in mind, body, and spirit. She gave me a gift to show me how to treat the opposite sex, because I had no idea how to do it. So when my wife does come along next time, I'm freaking ready. And this is a partner for life, because I learned the lessons with this person. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, because I'm learning from the hardship, not using it as a reason why I am this way. My call to you, my challenge to you is to question your perspective. I have a story I want to share about two twins, and the twins have a very interesting journey. They're identical twins, two boys. And in this story, they were raised by this really incredible individual. He did such a good job and gave them almost nothing of what they needed. He hurt them, he abused them, he lied to them, he showed unstable behavior, he set a poor example, he was basically homeless, got so low, was literally begging for his friends and family for money just to support his habit of alcoholism. And these two kids, these identical twins, were born to this man. And fast forward 30 years, those same two boys are in two very different worlds. One is massively successful. I'm talking multi-millionaire, doing big things. He's got a good head on his shoulders, very kind, on a mission to serve something more than himself. Supports hundreds of families through employment, gives back to his community. He's a good man. And he's glorified almost in a sense by his peers because he's such a force for good. The other man, his brother, same experience, exact same. They were literally identical twins. And the brother is a complete screw up. He's 30 years old. He's got nothing. He's just like his father. And they get interviewed one day and they sit down and they say, you know, let's call it Bob and Jerry. Bob, you're so successful. You're crushing it. How are you this way? And he goes, you know, when I was young, my father gave me everything I needed. He gave me no support. He gave me no direction. He gave me no guidance. He just showed me exactly what not to be. He was so unsuccessful that he actually showed me exactly what I didn't want my life to be like. So I did everything in my power to not fall to his way of living. And then they asked the other boy, his brother, same age, twins. So why are you this way? And he goes, well, it's all I ever knew. This is the only example I had. It's my father. So how could I know any better? And it's the same environment, just with a different perception. One chose it to rise up, to set a new standard, to become something so great. And the other took it as a way to fall victim to the limited self and never tap into the greatest potential inside of him. And that's a shame. And another example I'll give you is that these two boys, they could be on the same bus and it could be raining. And there could be a rainbow outside. And one boy sees the rainbow. The other boy sees the specks of water on the window. Because it's not about what's happening. It's about how you're feeling and what dominant beliefs are shaping what you see. Because you don't see reality. You see what you dominantly think and feel. Everything's a reflection of you. So if the world has victimized you, you will find more reasons to be victimized. If the world has given you a setup to rise to glory, you will find more reasons to rise. It's really just a matter of a choice, but you got to make it from your soul, not from your head. This is a deep decision. This is an initiation into your higher self. This is really, in my beliefs, what it means to evolve as a human. That's really what I believe we're here to do. We're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to give back. We can't do that if we're living in this lower consciousness. That's not what you're here for. I know if you made it this far in this video, you know that at some level. So if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you don't know what to do, if tomorrow you want to wake up at 5 and you don't because the program runs so hard and you haven't created the new habit, get up and go again. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Make a decision today, this moment, that something's gonna change. I gotta change. I gotta do something different. Build new habits that support the discipline of honing in your power, honing in your strength. Do something you've never done so that you can get something you've never gotten. And it's hard in our culture. I am not subject to this. I deal with this too. Every moment we got social media bombarding us. Every moment we got the news telling us why the world is going to shit. Every moment we got this and that. Well, we got to go above that, because that is just the matrix. That is all just another illusion to keep you limited. And as you strive to feed your mind with new information like you are today, new inputs, you're going to start seeing through the illusion. And you're going to say, that doesn't serve me. I'm not going to listen. I'm going to put my energy there, because where you put your attention is where you put your energy. So take your focus back. You got to guard your mind. And you got to start feeding it new stuff so that you can become the creator you're here to realize. You're here to do more. You're here to be more. It's just, can you get yourself to believe that? And the moment you do, you are choosing your new destiny. And in that, I have found, in those moments when we're striving and nothing's changing, that's when grace appears, because we earned it. And that's when, for my beliefs, God just doesn't bless a victim. Victims aren't lucky. They're just not. But those who strive, luck seems to follow them, because luck is simply cause and effect, misunderstood. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I highly encourage you to watch my last 2 videos, because they both speak on things I breezed over on this video. One talks about the subconscious mind, how to reprogram it. The other talks about the filter of possibility, which is your RAS. Going deep into the science of those mechanisms. And I actually show you how to do it as well. So I'd highly recommend you go back, check those out. If this message hit your soul on every level, if you took an insight, I'd love to hear from you. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you think someone in your life or a friend or a family member needs to hear this, please share it to them. Give away all this information for free so that you can evolve your experience. And I can't wait to hear about your success story one day. See you soon.